You're sounding very formal.
You just infected me. I'm sounding very formal too.
You sounded like, you know, you made me feel like, so I don't have sense. So I'm just trying to act like I have sense more. Like, good morning, ma. Yeah, so I think I'm on course now.
You're still the only female in this business. What is it?
They are not coming out. I'm sure 2018 they'll come out.
You think they're scared of you, huh? Like,
it's not you. It's the system.
Jacinta girl, it's the system.
Yeah, I think they need to see some certain level of growth. We were bold enough to embrace it at the time where it wasn't getting any form of attention at all. At the time where you go for a show and you're not thinking of how much you're going to get paid or what you stand to gain, just doing it for the passion. So, I mean, if you're doing that kind of thing, I think your father will ask you, are you okay? Especially if he has sent you to school and you say you want to do stand-up. I mean, so I'm sure they'll come out. They'll come out.
I mean, it's interesting you talk about exactly, you know, what the sector, you know, throws at you. Because we know that comedians being unpaid has been with us since time immemorial. You've been on our sets a few times. You've spoken to that. Has it changed? What's the situation now?
Okay, let me say that at least we're now getting more shows. We are getting recognized. I mean, we have comedians being built to perform at end-of-year parties now. We have comedians being called to MC occasions, weddings, and whatnot. I mean, I'm here. I'm getting some certain level of audience. So it's getting better. I just feel that some of the event organizers should learn to treat comedians rightly. I mean,
why do you say that?
As I did, so person they owe me money.
Okay.
Yesterday I called him to talk about my money. Instead of him to beg, can you imagine a debtor that is arrogant? Why are poor people so arrogant sometimes?
You know how we say it.
And then he was rather threatening me. You are owing me money, beg me, I'll forgive you. You are threatening me. So I think all those things we should drop it in 2017. We shouldn't take it to 2018.
But again, I'm thinking, why don't you seal the deal before you go into perform?
You see, in this business of ours, sometimes you look at the relationship you're building with some people, which you feel, okay, money could actually spoil some kind of friendships. You get sometimes, oh, Jacinta, you do this for me, do this for me. And then you want to use your church mind. And then people abuse it. So I think that's the problem. So 2018, no more church mind. We're going radical, no more church mind.
I'm still, you know, still struggling to understand you because then, I mean, you don't mix business with friendship.
We don't mix.
So if it's business, it's business.
Sure.
I mean, here's a case where you're telling us now that this person he's owed you for how long now?
For a couple of months now.
It's been a couple of months.
Yes.
I mean, do you know that for a lot of the comedians that are flown down to Ghana to perform, they take their monies before they.
Okay, now let's look at this typical situation. Kafuide is like my big brother. Kafui calls me.
Yes.
Oh, Jacinta, my baby is having a birthday party. How much will you charge me to MC? I say, oh, Kafuide, I mean, this one, dear, I abuse you, and okay, what are you giving to me? Usually I charge this. But you, I mean, for the sake of, we all do it, come on. We all say, oh, friend or something. And then you're like, okay. Then after the whole thing, you expect to get your money, and then someone is tossing you, telling you next week. And then, you know, there's not only one next week in a year, so many next week, and next week never comes. And then it begins to turn into something very, very loquacious.
So that's the kind of person who threatened you?
Yes,
that's
the person threatened. Yeah, I have the messages, and I'm going to call my lawyer.
You can test the law. It's important.
I hope I don't end up getting intimidation.
You know, it's good to test the law. So yes, all the best with that one.
Thank you, thank you.
Listen, let's not jump into the work that you do. And I'm wondering, what won't Jacinta joke about? Is there anything that you wouldn't joke about at all?
I would joke about anything depending on the joke.
Like?
Okay, I feel there are some issues that are sensitive. Religion, politics.
Right.
These are issues that if you don't take care, people would mistake you for being judgmental or, you know, taking sides. So there are some issues that before I tell a joke about something, I need to be sure that it does not look one-sided. I don't want wahala in my life.
How about sex?
I'll talk it. I will say it, Papa. In fact, I'll put sugar, put salt, I'll put every ingredient, spices. I will say it very well, depending on my audience. Yes, I would, because it excites people. It will shock you that you're talking about something very intelligent, and everybody is just like. But once you divert into, and this guy just touched my chest, you say, like,
so you're giving them what they ask for.
Exactly.
Kind of.
I'm telling you, Ghanaians, they like it all. Try it. Go for a comedy show one day.
Now that we talk about sex, I mean, I just want to bring in. You've heard about the Bantama gang rape. What are your thoughts, first of all?
My thoughts. Number one, I think there is no justification for rape. I went online to see that some people were saying, what was the girl doing there and all that. Waiting concern you. Is there any law that states that a girl should not go into a man's room? There is no law. For all you know, she could be there for whatever reason at all. And it was obvious she was resisting. Why would all of you? And I think it's just social decadence because, I mean, why? I can't think far.
I mean, what do you make of people who joke about such things?
So you have the heart to joke about rape. I don't want to say anything about such a person. I mean, I think they're just insensitive. What kind of joke can you even make out of a rape case? How would you start it? What will make it funny? I mean, it could be anybody. It could be even you that you are trying to think you are cracking a joke. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. I was in a group, I'm in a WhatsApp group where it was posted that a lady had lost her life. I mean, young girl, she's less than 30 years. And then this girl comes and says, oh, was she a student in our school? And then another person comes in to make a sarcastic statement. No, she was in Legon. And then people come and they're laughing. And then this guy comes and says, really, you guys have the heart to laugh. Someone has lost her life and you're laughing. So even we, the joke makers, we understand that some issues are sensitive and shouldn't be played with. So no matter how much of a comedian you think you are, I just feel there are just some, come on, there are lines we shouldn't cross. I
mean, staying with this Bantama issue, we heard a former presidential aspirant speak to the fact that, look, this thing is no news. Just focus on your Christmas. Former mayor of Kumasi says, look, let's just line these boys up. Let's just flog them and just probably tell them to go and sin no more.
But you know, in some other parts of the world, I think they would have been facing some very severe punishments, if not judgments, if not total condemnation. But if you're saying we should leave them, then I don't want to say that I hope it happens to any of your relatives so that you feel the pain or what it feels to have a young girl being, you know, put in that kind of situation. Because, I mean, they should be served some degree of punishment. Not total condemnation, because Charlie, even we are not holy. But once you have committed that kind of offense, you should be made to understand that it's punishable by law. It doesn't matter whether someone said they are young, the highest they'll get is 3 years, and then they'll come out and then they'll live their lives. You that you have gone to have the stigma of a rapist, when you come out, you give your life to Christ.
I mean, you're the only woman in this space. I know we've had this conversation time without number. Some have asked, how does it feel like and all of that. Let's take it to a different level. Now that we're talking sex issues and all of that, have there been instances where event organizers or even your own colleagues, your male colleagues in this industry have tried to take advantage of you because you're a woman, you're young, you're beautiful, I mean, woman with enough body and all of that? When
you say take advantage, I don't understand. Take advantage as in...
You're not on the, you're not on the stage. So let me just spell it out. Hey. So I'm talking about sexual advances or sexual proposals.
It is normal. See, if
so
you
get that
girl,
a lot.
Yes, it's normal. If you are a girl in whatever field you are and you don't get sexual advances, check yourself. It's normal.
How do you manage that?
It all boils down to what you want as a person. I don't want quarrel no day. Even though there are sometimes that when some men make advances at you and you refuse, the friendship goes sour. most of the time it happens like that. Maybe where you would have gained some certain things because you refuse to give in to some certain things, then you don't get some certain things. It's normal. Then you move on. It's not by force. I don't think people try to make and this person. See, if you are a woman, a man will want to sleep with you unless you are gay. It's normal. So you just have to know what you want. Is it that you want, or because you cannot tell a man not to make advances at you? It's not possible.
Please don't make advances at me.
No, they should, but you should say yes or no.
So for you, it's normal, but it's up to you and how you're able to deal. Yes, it's
up to you. I mean, if I were to be putting myself down for everybody, which energy do I have? I'm not strong.
Jacinta.
So it's normal. It's normal. Even if you go to the banks, the hospitals, even in law enforcement.
No, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere
so
you find
people should start making it look as if it's the entertainment industry that is the most rotten, sector. That before you get to the top, massa, it's everywhere. So decide on what you want to do. It's either you want to, but bear in mind that if you slip your way to the top and you don't have talent, you don't have what it takes to maintain you, to keep you there, then as you take
I was going to go there because usually there are all of these young ones who are looking up to you. They see you do this, they hear a lot of these stories, how that you have to, or people would have to have their way with you before you get to a certain level. So I'm excited. Your final words. It's not all about the beauty.
Yes.
You've got to, apart from being passionate about what you're doing, as well have it here.
Yes.
So somebody, you should have people want to sit and listen, to you, and not just, that's the beautiful one coming in. That's
yes, you should.
All right. Listen, we're just about 8 minutes to wrap it all up, and I'm talking the show. I'm just quickly going to ask you this. So I remember that not too long ago, you were talking about how that you don't get a lot of support, from the Creative Arts Council. You mentioned the Commission on Arts and Culture, for instance.
Yes.
What was your issue really?
Okay, my issue was that whenever we go for interviews or whenever I listen to interviews, I hear people sitting down to say, oh, even the Nigerians are doing better. Oh, look at the way the Nigerians are doing. And then my pain is that every time we want to compare Ghana to Nigeria, I grew up in Nigeria. You see,
as a Nigerian?
Yes, so I'm Nigerian. I grew up in Nigeria, and it hurts me because, number one, the Nigerians, they are not our mates as far as comedy is concerned. They've been doing this thing like since. And apart from doing it for a long time, the government, like their society, the environment supports them. If Basket Mouth is doing a show today, if Godon's I Go Die is doing a show today, you see every other person coming together to support. You see the media supporting them. But here, you put a Ghanaian comedian on the show, and somebody is sitting down saying, he's not funny. So you want to tell me that every time the Nigerians go on stage, they say a brand new joke. You are coming to enjoy. It's comedy. Enjoy the show and go home. So my pain was that instead of always criticizing and analyzing and judging, why don't you come together to build the industry? Because it is now growing. You get me? So I think we should stop all those backlashing and this and comparing and contrasting and whatever we are doing. Now I am happy because, Sokritafo invited us to the office.
Okay.
He sent me a message, said, Jacinta, come to the office with the guys. Let's see how we can focus on comedy. Because another pain I had was that when you talk about creative arts, if it's not music, it's movies and then fashion. What happened to comedy? You and I got to know about worry through comedy. A lot of people have not been outside of Ghana, but they know how a worry man behaves. Why? Because I Go Die comes to Night of Laughs or Lord of the Rings and says, for worry. We don't know. We've not been there before. So let's also sell, the Ashanti man who say brown blood. Yeah, let's sell it. And
so the reason why you talk about investing in comedy.
Exactly. So now I am happy because now the commission has said, okay, guys, next year, let's do a comedy show. Let's see how we can partner with you. We have the National Theatre. It's our thing. Let's see how we can come together and do a comedy show to project the Ghanaian culture. And I'm happy.
Listen, you can't come into the studio and just not break our ribs. I need at least a rib broken before I get out of the studio
Okay,
today.
so for all
it's
of
a weekend, the Christmas is just here.
Hey.
So yeah, take us away with something. One of you, your usual.
Okay, and before I do that, let me remind everybody that I'll be performing at the Night of Laughs. And they're all invited on the 26th of December. Night of Laughs awaits you. And I'm not performing alone. Foster, Chemical, Basket, Acapella, Akpororo, Kiddy, Kwame Eugene, and I'm saying, you know,
but for the first time, this is like a record though, because for the first time we're going to have a female act. Coming from Ghana.
From Ghana,
be part of this lineup.
So
good job once again.
Pressure.
Yeah, and I hope that 2018, you know, we
opens more doors. Yes.
Thank you.
And yes, People's Celebrity Awards have been nominated for Comedian of the Year.
Amen. Once again.
Please vote for us.
We'll vote.
Let us win.
Yes, take us away with, you know, something
okay, so let me
special.
do this. When I was coming in, somebody said, Jacinta, that's your joke. Please say it for me. I want to hear it. It's my joke when I came to Ghana a few years ago, and then I went to Circle. You know, that place, if you are not high on the Spirit of the Lord, if the Spirit of God is not upon you, you can't go there. Because that place, the principalities and powers that operate there, they are beyond human discernment. And so I got there, I said I wanted to buy a Samsung, you know, big girl, you know what I'm saying? And when they gave me the Samsung, my sister, when I got home, I put on my Samsung. You see those two hands in Nokia? They came out.
The hands on the phone came out of the phone. How did that happen? I've never seen that.
You see when you put on a Nokia phone, those two friends that we don't know them, they always bring out, but this was a Samsung. It came out.
Oh, the Nokia hands came on the Samsung.
Yes.
I now get it. Listen, I'm beginning to feel that, look, probably, you know, we're kind of right in the way when we say that our Nigerian brothers,
really?
you know, do better than that.
I wanted to tell you.
Could it be because you have, you know, some Nigerian blood in you that
keep going?
You're still relevant and surviving in this industry?
Hey, he always does this to me.
Merry Christmas, guys. It's nice
it's
to
Merry
be in the
Christmas,
company.
not Merry Jacinta.
No, not Merry Christmas. Hey, guys, the next time you see us, it'll be Christmas time. So hey.
Okay, so I want to say thank you again to Kafi. You know, he gave me a cake live on air on my birthday.
One time.
Oh,
yes, that was like 2 months ago.
Really?
Live
I sit here with this man. I've never seen that before.
I was like, oh my gosh, I'm blasting.
I don't know the levels. Thank you.
All of you have stood up and I've not stood up. You don't ask me why. I don't want to be the shortest. So I'll wait for the camera to go off before I start.
On that note, I want to say thanks to all of you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
She's going around again. She hasn't been on the playground in a long time.
It's true, you know.
Thank you for watching. Watch us on Monday, the Christmas Day edition of a show.
Say bye-bye.
Fantastic.